It is the 18th of July, 2020. Let me just fix that. Um, I guess to start, I'll just do like an introduction. Um, my name is Hassani Carter Kelly. I'm 19 years old, and I live in Canada, Quebec specifically. I'm sort of just making this video as like a personal journal, I guess, for my own relief. Um, since I'll explain in a little bit what exactly I've been going through, but sort of explaining the purpose of the video, I guess. Um, for a long time, I guess, I've always been very considerate of like my own physical well-being. I've always been trying to stay in really good shape. I used to compete in a lot of different athletics, like rugby, soccer, track and field. Athletics was sort of like my foundation. And those things gave me a lot of motivation and drive, and I really didn't. I enjoyed those things a lot. Like the fulfillment that those sports gave me was immense, and I don't think I realized it in the moment, but thinking about it now, it was a really good experience for me. However, when it comes to being a healthy person, there's two aspects to that. I find there's your physical well-being. How does my body feel? Am I suffering with cramps? Am I thirsty? Am I hungry? Am I sick? And then on the other side of that, there is the um, psychological health. How do I feel? How is my mind? Um, and for a long time, I sort of struggled with my physical health. Occasionally, I would get sick pretty often. I've also had surgery twice in my life, I believe. Hard to recall, like off the top of my head. Um, but regardless of that, I've always made an effort to um, be well physically. However, for a long time, I sort of lived very much in the moment, like a lot of young people probably did. And I sort of swept how I would feel under the rug, I guess, to sort of focus on school or continue staying consistent in sports. I swept how I was feeling under a rug, sort of just keep fulfilling my social commitments. Like I want it to be like a very fun friend to have. I guess I'm a very like lively person for the most part. I like to go out places for like a really long period of time and just really enjoy myself. And I still do despite what I'm facing now. But um, I sort of neglected how I was feeling for the sake of other people. Always worrying about how all my friends were doing, what I could do to help them, and so on. And also at times not necessarily taking as good care of them as I should. There's a lot of people that I think maybe I didn't give as much time as I should have or been as honest with. And even now with this, like my own mental health, um, recently I've realized just how important it is. And sort of what I've been facing right now is this. It has a specific term, and I'll use that sort of describe just narrowly what I'm feeling. I think what I may be dealing with is thanatophobia, and what that is essentially is it is a stress or anxiety that derives from one's fear of their own death or death itself. Usually, it's like related to people who have post-traumatic stress disorder, so veterans very commonly will suffer with PTSD and thanatophobia because they've had like close call experiences, I suppose. However, for me, it's more just the fear aspect of it, um, of really just enjoying life. Um, and so, a lot of people might know that before I used to struggle with motivation to want to live. And I guess it's kind of a very weird thing to go from not wanting to live to wanting to live forever. And yeah. Because mental health is really, really important. And I think my life has changed for the better because of this experience I've had where um, I sort of understand the importance of life and how beautiful it is, just from waking up and seeing the sun outside, which actually I'll open up my blinds here so I can see outside. And just being able to feel and experience things. And, I think for the better part of this week, I woke up feeling not sad, but mostly just frightened, regretful, I mean, but overwhelmingly happy, to wake up and to be able to experience these things and just being conscious as a human being. I'm so thankful for. So, I think even after talking with my family very deeply about this, it will likely make me a better person in the longevity of my life. And, it makes me understand the value of every single person that I meet and that I talk to. Because before, even though I used to take time to sort of ask, even just like a stranger, like a lot of my friends are, you might know that I would very often, if I'm waiting in line for like a drink at Tim's, and I notice maybe someone might be having a long day or a rough day, I'll just ask them how they're doing, or even just like if it's anyone, I'll ask anyone how they're doing, how their day is, how they're feeling, what they plan on doing, and I sort of just did that out of kindness, but I understand now just how important those kind of experiences are. And, because it's hard to rationalize for myself. Like, okay, I see the world through my eyes, and I know that the experience that I'm having is real, but sometimes it's hard to understand that it is real because I don't see life through the people's eyes that I'm talking to. But that's a little bit off track. But people know that I oftentimes would just take time out of my day to ask people how they're doing and, just check on people, talk to everyone that's near me. And I was just a social person. I just did that because it was fun. Some people would find it kind of funny and would just laugh at me, but I didn't really mind it as much because, the times where people would feel relief through that, it brought me joy. Because not a lot of people will have sorry. Not a lot of people in life have a broad social network of people who will ask them how they're doing or how they're feeling. They just live life isolated and alone, and I don't think anyone deserves that. And so it's more on like the topic of what I've been dealing with my fears, how it sort of changed my life, I guess, to sort of summarize that. I sort of spoke very loosely about it, but, I love to live now. As weird as that sounds to say. Every feeling that I have, both physically and emotionally, matters so much more. I guess. And I have this immense passion and drive to pursue things, um, which I haven't had in a long time. And I guess it's changed my life for the better. I hope it will. It's still very early on. I've only been dealing with this for about like a week, I guess. There's been like a build-up. I have had these kind of fears before of getting, old or passing away. But I'm still so young. A lot of people that I've been speaking to recently have been reminding me that I'm a young guy. I'm 19, turning 20 soon, and I have so many plans, so much passion, so much joy and happiness, so many people to share those experiences with. And, you know, but I feel like maybe it's important for me to express how I'm feeling in a healthy, constructive way. Because before, where I would feel depressed and anxious because of stress from school or um, not feeling fulfilled from one of my favorite pastimes is playing video games, and I'm a very competitive person. Um, so oftentimes, if a game isn't going my way, I'll get frustrated or angry at the people that I'm playing with. Like, why don't you just do better? Or why don't you just why don't you just play the game right? And sometimes it's hard for me to um, at least when I was suffering a lot with stress, I would sort of project my stress onto other people through the anger, um, in games, or I would project it through, um, I guess, jealousy. Because although I do look up to people, so I guess I'll explain that. One of my biggest passions in life is MMA. I just think it's just a beautiful thing, and I get emotional talking about it because it's such a beautiful practice. The training, the spiritual journey that a lot of competitors they go through, and even idols of mine that I look up to, like George St. Pierre, who lives a life of kindness and respect and gratitude for his peers, no matter what challenges he faces. I think it's such a beautiful thing, and before I used to get very um, jealous subconsciously, and I wasn't driven through passion a lot of the time. When I was depressed, I was driven through the desire to do better than other people, and not in a positive way to sort of show people like it is possible, but just to sort of rub it in people's faces, because I was so stressed by the fact that people were doing better than me, and I wanted to prove to other people that I was better than them before, which I realize now it isn't nice or kind. And even though I was doing it subconsciously, um, it still happened. So you know, um, even though I would prefer to have not have done it, it's too late now, and all I can really do is live a better life. And that's sort of the reason why I'm taking so much time to sit down and make this video. Um, I feel like I never really expressed how I was feeling inside, and it just festered and got worse. And rather than seeking healing, I was seeking out a way to just end my problems. And um, I did struggle for quite a while when I was 17 and 18 with suicide, although I only really spoke about it afterwards with my family. Um, even growing up, when I was very young, when I was maybe like 11 or 12, um, I was having suicidal thoughts, but I didn't really understand the implications of those thoughts or where they came from and what they meant. So feel a little bit better. I should have made this video. It's just something for me to look back on, I guess, afterwards. But I guess if there's a takeaway, if anyone watches this, is, not to be ashamed of how you feel and to reach out. And if you're someone that I've met, or that's someone that I know who watches this video, even if you're someone I don't talk to anymore, someone that I still do hang out with, or someone that I sort of just met in passing, very briefly, it might feel artificial, but for every person that I have in my life, I love you all immensely. Because whether or not a lot of you guys realize is I get by life seeing you all happy, and I get by in life because of the friends that I make and the friends that I have, and you all bring me joy just by living your own lives. So I just wanted to make this video to reach out and show other people that they can broadcast how they're feeling or share how they're feeling in a constructive and helpful way where you can grow as a person and heal and get through your problems. A lot of people who struggle with their feelings turn to a lot of negative things like self-harm or isolation, and if we do live a life, we should live it happily and alongside others, and while there is pain in life, not to create more for ourselves. So if you watch this whole video and you're feeling I guess sad or upset, don't, because while it may seem like I'm suffering, and while I am a little bit, I think in the past few days I am just immensely overwhelmed with joy and happiness for everything. Because even if I just move back to my left, for you on the right side of the screen, I have a window where I can just see the world, the clouds, the bright blue sky, the trees. I can see my backyard, I can see everything that's out there, the flowers, the fence, the earth. I can see the schoolyard across from my backyard, just, the memories that are there. And those things, they just make me emotional because they make me happy. So don't be upset when you watch this video, or don't be upset with your own challenges. Just try to find a way to heal and be happy. So I love you all, and have a great day. Just, be happy for the little things. I don't know how many of these I'm gonna make, though. Just figured I would make one sort of just for my own personal relief, but, maybe if it helps other people, I might just record everything that I'm going through and just, show people my sort of journey of getting better. And if you are feeling sad, anxious, depressed, stressed, there's ways of getting through that. Even for me, a lot of people might think it's odd for me to speak about it, but recently I've started taking medication to help stabilize myself emotionally, where I no longer feel extremely anxious, where I'm up for days on end without rest. Um, but it's not all about just the medication, you know. Like I'm also looking forward to seeing counselors. I'm talking to family, friends. Um, and eventually I will get better. So even if you pursue these things, they're not going to fix what you're dealing with immediately. Um, and it is a step-by-step process, you know, because even though I do take the medication that does make me feel better, um, I cannot just rely on the medication to live a better, healthier life. While it helps me get back to that point where I am happy, eventually it is up to me to lead a healthy life and a happy one. So as that's what I'm going to be focusing on most. I feel like the next couple of days, weeks, months is just healing. But I'll get better. And I'm going to be happy. You know, and I am happy, but I won't be anxious. So thank you so much if you watch this whole video. You know, I really do mean it because it's time out of your day. So thank you. And you know, be happy.